Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope you guys had a good weekend and they had a good Monday as well, as I always say, if that's at all possible. So I can see you guys in the live chat room already. So hello to you in there. And let's give you a quick shout out. We have, it's gone through too quickly. Christian, Bob, Mimi321, Ro, Billy, Tracer, I've got to start further down. Bernadine, Linda, Suzanne, Zahar, 76, Laurie, Bob going through it again, Alison, Glory, Teresa, just W, Melody Rocks, Little Lost Kitten, Joseph, and it's gone through the top again. So hello everybody, and the messages are certainly going through quickly tonight. And let me skip this advert before it jumps in. So let me get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. And you know who you are. A massive thank you to these lovely people at the bottom of the screen because they make everything possible, including these live streams, the analysis videos, the cover videos that I've done in the past as well. And yeah, it's very much appreciated, all of your support over on Patreon. Now, let's get the likes goal up on screen because this is, I think, the correct number, 415. That's what I put it down as. I think I've lost track of what we did last week and I didn't have time to check last week's because just before going live, I had an interesting copyright claim, which I'll talk about in tonight's live stream, but hopefully 415 is correct. That's what we're aiming for tonight. So if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be very much appreciated. And we'll see how close we can get to that target tonight. If we do hit that target, we're going to be having Phil Jam number 270. So we are making our way through the Phil Jams. When I say we're working our way through them, it seems like Joe just has an endless list of these Phil Jams, just one after the next after the next. So thank you, Joe, for sorting these out. And yeah, 270 we're up to so far. So also, let me get up on screen the donations tab because you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. And for those people that can't resist donating, I think it's important that you know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But you don't have to donate for anything, for the live streams or for analysis videos or anything like that. So yeah, let's get the likeometer up on screen as well. See where we're at. 220, which means we're looking for 195 more people, I think, to hit the thumbs up. So yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great. Good start. If we're around 200 when we get the likeometer up on screen, that's usually a good sign. So fingers crossed to see if we can make it to 415, but 270 for the Phil Jams. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Now I can see that there has been a donation in the Super Chat window, so thank you for that. Paul donated $10 and says, wishing everyone a fun time tonight. Catch up crew for me. Please spike the likes, all y'all. Peace, love, and rock. So thank you for that. And Karen says you're wearing a t-shirt tonight. Is it warmer tonight? So it must be a little bit warmer to be in a t-shirt. Let me see what the phone says. 9 degrees, but that's outside. So yeah, it's not too bad. So it's warmer. I think when it's maybe around 2 or 3 outside that things then start getting a little bit over the top with coldness. So then I have to wear a hoodie. But yeah, everything's all right at the moment. So there have been some donations over on PayPal as well, and I'll just quickly jump into let me just check. Right, okay. I need to check that I don't miss any out. So I think because I marked the wrong one, and I think the right one should have been Stephen's donation, and I'm just going to check that is correct. Yeah, I think so. So Stephen donated £20. So thank you for that, Stephen. And that was a straight up donation. And Nicole donated £12 as well. So thank you for that, Nicole. And the message was, "Hi Phil, you say do not send donations, but I can't resist. Tonight, rock times." So thank you for that. And Steve has donated £5 as well. And Steve says, "How do you handle speeding up or slowing down while playing? What do you do when a bandmate or the band changes speed?" So thank you for that. And I mean, generally, when you're playing live, as a guitarist and a front man of the band, you can count in the speed, the tempo that you want with a traditional 1, 2, 3, 4. But the problem is, if you count in and go 1, 2, 3, 4, but then the drummer comes in and goes boom cha boom cha boom cha boom cha, which isn't the same tempo, you can't really do a lot about that, because the drummer will determine your tempo. So this is why, yes, it's always good to have a drummer who can keep not only the tempo that you want the song to be at, but to keep consistent tempo throughout the whole song. Because what might happen is that you might have a drummer who is just playing, and it seems like everything's fine, and it'll be like, you know, a boom cha boom boom cha boom cha boom boom cha boom cha boom boom cha. This is all fine. Cha dum 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 boom cha boom boom cha. And for some reason unknown to man, they have sped up after their fill. And a fill is when you're hitting, you're doing a run on different, if you don't play the drums, runs on different parts of the drum kit, such as toms, or you might just do a fill on the snare. But because you've now got to fit in more strikes, because you're hitting more things in a shorter space of time, for some reason drummers see that as, then they kind of get excited, and then now it's all of a sudden it's a whole new song you're playing, because you think, well, hang on, this isn't the tempo that we play this song at, or this isn't the tempo of the song. So now there, as a guitarist, and if you're at the front of the band and you're singing as well, there's not a lot you can do, because you're playing and you're singing. So, I mean, depending on how big the stage is, but then it'll just look dodgy if you kind of try and go to the side and look back at the drummer and try and give them some kind of look to say, what are you doing? You just have to battle on with it. And I know this because there have been plenty of songs that we've done where it's been horrifically fast. I remember there's a video of us playing Hero, and this was absolutely ages ago, and it was filmed at a rehearsal studio, and it was so fast that it's the drummer was playing it very fast, which just means everyone's got to do everything really fast. So you've got to try and fit in all of your lyrics and the melody of the song just within now these tighter parameters, because you've got less time to do it. So you just have to battle on with it, unless, I mean, if you're another member of the band and you know that the drummer's kind of going for it, or maybe playing too slowly, then it depends how long you've been together and whether you understand each other's cues and all that kind of stuff. But you might be able to give the drummer a look or a particular sign in order to say that you're either too slow or you're too fast. So but it's very difficult, because the drummer really is in control of tempo, because nothing's going to come across louder than that foot pedal and the snare, through the mix. So very difficult, but you just have to battle on. So thank you for that. And I'm assuming that Steve isn't talking about, maybe speeding up or slowing down your playing during a guitar solo, because that's a different thing, because the tempo will be consistent, but then you're playing slightly faster passages and then slower passages in order to make your solo interesting, to make it into a journey, rather than just hitting somebody with the same thing over and over, or the same speed over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that's something that, yeah, some players are very much into playing fast, for example, and they'll keep on playing at the same speed all the time. So yeah, if they're playing at the same speed all the time, people can generally start to lose a little bit of interest. And I'm talking about from that mainstream perspective, that yeah, when you're listening to all of the huge hits across all time, and they do have a guitar solo in there, it's not going to be just fast stuff all the time. And yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody is a good example. And that leads me into what I was going to say, that I did say that I'd mention at the beginning of the live stream. But yeah, so Bohemian Rhapsody, you've got melodic guitar solos that kind of serve the purpose of being in the song, and they serve the song because it's all part of the feel. And just, you know, Brian May just absolutely nails his solos from a melodic perspective, but from that compositional perspective of just getting it to suit the song. But anyway, yeah, whenever you listen to the huge hits, there's, unless the guitarist is known for that, and I know that Eddie Van Halen, that when he did the Beat It solo, for example, that was like a featuring solo, and it meant that he just kind of did what he did, which is all, you know, tapping and, you know, all very wild, but still technically, you know, amazing and, yeah, very impressive. But that's kind of what he did. So that's what he did for that solo. But, yeah, other mainstream hits where the focus is really on kind of the band and the singer and isn't having a guest guitarist coming in, then generally, yeah, you're always going to get something that's melodic with fast bits and with slow bits, but not just always the same thing. It works the other way as well. If somebody plays really slowly all the time, then you'll lose interest in that as well. You've got to try and mix it up. And even the players that are known for, you know, playing melodically, such as, you know, Eric Clapton. I mean, being called slow hand, you know, having a slow hand literally. I mean, when you listen to his playing, it's not all slow. There are some bits where he does speed up considerably and have some, you know, little runs that he'll throw together, and yeah, lines that are a lot faster. So yeah, even in, you know, that's a good example of mixing it up and not just doing it really, you know, slowly or really quickly with your solos all the time, but yeah, just to mix it up. But anyway, yeah, I'm just making sure that you didn't mean that when you asked that question. So thank you for that, Steve. And Karen donated £4.18. So thank you for that, Karen. And I'm just making sure that everything is... I've just kind of assumed that everyone can hear me and see me and everything like that. So hopefully you can. It seems to be all right from what I'm seeing on screen. So, yeah, thank you for this. Karen says, "Hi Phil, I enjoyed your AI on AI discussion. If someone published an anti-AI song that was au natural, e.g. no auto-tune, how would you react? Thanks for all you do and for being you. Cheers, Karen." So thank you for that. And I don't think I would have any particular reaction to it. You know, if you're talking about reaction channels where I can't remember which one it was, but there are loads of these. And this is one that popped up when it's always, it was the Bohemian Rhapsody thing again, the flash mob video, where I was looking for any crowd shot footage from anywhere, just anybody that caught any live audio, but nothing exists. So I was looking through that, and then I saw all the reaction videos to this flash mob, and yeah, this one channel that I clicked on, and the guy had maybe 4 or 5 faces that he's made, and then he puts the same kind of shocked face on one video, but then if you look kind of 4 videos ago, it's the same shocked face. 4 videos before that, same shocked face. But it's a different subject, a different topic. So they're doing the same. They've got they're rotating these 4 or 5 faces that obviously they think, oh, you know, it's going to be the most surprised I can look, or like, like that, and then have that as your saved picture, and then you get 4 other ones, and then just keep on rotating those with all of the videos regardless of what the topic is. So it's like you're having exactly the same reaction to all these different videos. But I guess that's what reaction videos are. It's not necessarily, it shouldn't really be having the same reaction, but then again, everybody knows that that they'll get more views if they have that kind of thumbnail, and if they do that during the video, if they kind of act really over the top and really shocked that first time I've ever heard Bohemian Rhapsody, and you know it's not the first time they've ever heard it. So and then they say, oh wow, I can't believe it's so amazing, oh it really touches me on a personal level and all this different stuff, and by the way, please like and subscribe and donate. They always ask for donations. But anyway, let's move on from that. So if somebody did an anti-AI song, well, the thing is, pitch correction and auto-tune isn't AI, so it's a totally different thing. But I mean, if somebody released a song that was just literally their voice singing, I think it would be refreshing, it would be nice to hear, and that's something that I will be releasing in the future. With vocal coaches on YouTube, them singing naturally without anything going on tuning wise with their voices, and without any AI or anything like that. So that's a video that I'll be doing in the future. And at the moment, because I had this this TV thing recently, that all kind of got in the way, but in a good way, with what I was doing with that particular video. So that particular video is still going ahead, and the problem that I've got at the moment is I've got lots of vocal coaches that I kind of wanted to have featured, and they've replied and said yes, they'll do it, which is fantastic. And I've been sent different performances, and with one particular vocal coach, he's also sent me 2 videos of other vocal coaches that work under the same umbrella, which is great as well. And there's a vocal coach, and this is really annoying, and I can't get back to their channel, and I've checked my subscriptions, but it's disappeared. As people have found with my channel, sometimes you subscribe and then you're not subscribed anymore. Now the problem is that this because back in the day I'd watch loads of different YouTube channels and vocal coaches when I was working on my voice, and this particular vocal coach, I saw a few videos. I thought, oh, that's really cool. And it wasn't, somebody that had, loads and loads of subscribers, maybe 10,000 subscribers or something like that. So it was, a teacher who now I've been just trying to remember the name of the channel, but I can't remember it. But it's a guy in the UK, and because I have already got, a lot of coaches that are going to be taking part, but I thought, it'd be great if I could get in touch with this guy and get him involved as well, because it's not just about the huge channels, but if I see a particular vocal coach and I think, oh, I like what they're doing, I like their approach, and I like the way that they're explaining things, then I'd like to kind of, I know it might mean that then the organisation of this video takes years because I've got so many vocal coaches that I want to email, but it would be great to get in contact with them. But I'm going to keep on trying to remember and just going through my history of videos and kind of typing in different vocal coaching terms and hoping that eventually YouTube will allow me to see the videos that I know that I've watched but like years ago. So anyway, thank you for that donation. There have been donations in the super chat window as well, so I will jump into those. And we said about Paul's donation, I think, and then Kevin donated $5, so thank you for that, Kevin. And the message is, hi Phil, has Authentic Vocal been trademarked yet? Fantastic idea, hoping all goes well and it becomes a staple worldwide. TM with a thumbs up. So thank you for that. And yes, Authentic Vocal is a registered trademark. So it's not just a trademark. So a trademark is something that anybody can put on anything. So the TM trademark, you can put that on any logo that you want, or make up a business name and put TM on it, and that doesn't require any legalities or any process to go through. But when you have a registered trademark, which isn't a TM, it's an R in a circle, that's now gone through the process of being a registered trademark by law, which means that nobody can use that. So, I mean, just at all, they put it on anything. And this is why. Oh, this reminded me of something else we'll talk about later as well. I say later, it's already 11:30, but this is why on that Ella Scott artist, AI creation that I featured recently, on that channel, it had Ella Scott and then a registered trademark logo. And I think maybe people don't really understand what that means, because I think if they did understand what that means, they wouldn't have put it on their website, because that's illegal. And yeah, you can get fined and put in jail. You can actually go to jail for using the registered trademark symbol, the R in a circle, without it actually being registered with the government. So there you go. And so that was another thing that on that particular site was really dodgy. And I am going to mention about the Ella Scott video. I'm going to have to do a follow-up video on this, because there's not only that, but other stuff that I want to talk about with other artists who have had or been the victims of AI recently. I think it's really important just to tell everybody what's going on. And because I've maybe got more of a reach than other YouTube channels and other maybe independent musicians, I think it's important for people to know who the real musicians are and who the AI artists are. But anyway, with the Ella Scott video, when I made it, I showed everything on screen, and I was reading on the page about the charity that she set up in her name that isn't a registered charity, because I looked into all of that, and now they've actually changed that on the website to say that it's now a merch charity. And of course, a merch charity doesn't mean anything. That isn't going to be breaking any laws, because a merch charity doesn't really mean anything. So yeah, that's been changed. But now, unfortunately, people watching my video are commenting saying it doesn't even say that she set up a charity. It clearly says a merch charity. So this is why I'm going to have to do an updated video, just to tell people to watch and listen to my videos very carefully. Because what I'm showing on the site clearly at that point didn't say it was a merch charity. It clearly said that she set up a charity under her name, Ella Scott. So, but it's good and it's great to see that what we're actually doing on the channel of highlighting fake artists and scams, they're obviously seeing my video and seeing people's comments and now changing their site. And guess what? The merch has now been removed, the link in order to buy merch. So yeah, and yeah, I mean, there's loads more to this, but I'll do it in a video, because I can't do it all in a live stream because we'll run out of time for everything. But there are so many elements to it, and the reason why I think it's great is because I think that this scam, as it's been set up with Ella Scott, it started 7 months ago, and we know that because that's when the first video was uploaded. And then, yeah, we had a new video every other day for the last 6 or 7 months. So what does that mean? It means that the more you upload to YouTube, the more the algorithm likes your channel, meaning the more it will push that music out there, meaning you're going to get more views and potentially, get your channel monetized. But in the case of this scam, it's in order to get the music out there to as many people as possible. So then they say, where can I buy your music? Then they say, oh, well, you can buy it from here, and we saw the stores that it was available on. But also they'll say, check out the website. People will go to that website. They'll see that there's a charity. They might feel inclined to donate and all of that stuff, or buy merch. And that's where the scam now is in full flow. Now, the great thing is that I think with this particular scam, we've interrupted their process, because they're up to, I think, 40 odd thousand subscribers, which is still, a decent amount of people that subscribe to that channel. But I think they were building up to, you know, maybe 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, 100,000 subscribers, because all they need is just a tiny percentage of that number to start donating and start buying merch and start buying the songs, and you've now got a fully fledged scam, you know, underway that's going to be making a lot of money. So yeah, I think it's really good that we can now see that on the website that process has been interrupted, where they've removed the merch and they've now deleted the page, or should I say the charity page, where there are AI pictures of this Ella Scott playing for kids, you know, for disadvantaged children who are ill, which is all lies because it's all AI generated images that didn't actually happen. So yeah, it's great that we've interrupted that process, and I will address this in a video, but people just miss the point entirely, because somebody said, oh, it's not that big of a deal because it's not exactly like many people were checking it out or going to the website. You know, the figures aren't very impressive. And I think you don't wait for people to get scammed to then tell them about the scam. You try and catch it as early as possible. So if there are only maybe a few hundred people checking out this scam, then you think, well, that's a few hundred people too many. You've got to think, well, no, 0 people should be taken in by this scam. You don't, you know, say, oh, well, no, the scam wasn't very big, so it's not that important and who cares? Yeah, but those are genuine comments that people have made. That, oh, well, it wasn't a very big scam. It's like, well, yeah, you say that when you get taken in by a scam and you might, you know, donate some money which you thought was to a particular charity, but it turns out it isn't. And then they say to you, oh, yeah, but, you know, you only gave away $5,000, but don't stress about it because it's not that big a scam, you know. They just don't see it from the other point of view of the people that do get scammed, that it doesn't matter how big or small the scam is, you've still been scammed. But anyway, yeah, moving on. So, yeah, Ella Scott, all that stuff. That's cool. Now, the other thing, yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody video, the flash mob video that I made, the shorts video that I made on that has been blocked worldwide. And today I had a copyright claim on the video that I made. And I mean, I don't know, this all seems a bit weird that it happens on the same day and it didn't happen straight away. Normally, when you upload a video and it's got particular audio on it, it then gets copyright claim straight away, and then I will dispute the claim because everything that I do on my channel is fair use. And as in that case, when I'm pointing out about the audio, you know, not being the original audio from the video that we're looking at, and we're looking at, you know, post-pitch corrected vocals, all that kind of stuff, you have to hear the audio. That's part of it. So you can't prove that something sounds a particular way unless you listen to it. So my video, in that particular case, as with all of my analysis videos, are absolutely fair use, or fair dealings, as we call it here in the UK. So, yeah, it's interesting that it's now being copyright claimed. Of course, I'm going to dispute it because there's absolutely no grounds whatsoever to be claiming that, other than trying to stop people seeing my video. And that's what's happened with the shorts. It's been blocked worldwide. Nobody can see that now. So somebody who might be watching that flash mob video won't be able to see that I'm pointing out that it's not actually, you know, as it seems. It's not the real sound. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame, but I'll probably dispute that straight after tonight's live stream. It's just because it happened just before we went live, and I'm wondering whether the claim has been made after a little bit of time, hoping that I won't see it in my email inbox, and that then, you know, the video then gets put on the down low, and the millions of people that have watched that flash mob video then don't find out exactly what was going on. So yeah, rest assured I will dispute it. And yeah, I can't see that. I mean, if I dispute it and then that's rejected, then yeah, there's absolutely no reason to be claiming that on my video, because it is so fair use It's ridiculous. And I know it is because, I have lawyers that watch the channel and know exactly what I do and wouldn't talk about my channel if what I wasn't doing was entirely within the law. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But, I mean, yeah, it might turn into, the Streisand effect. The whole Barbra Streisand thing where her house on the coast was part of... that they were doing a survey of the coast or the coastline, how much it erodes and all that kind of stuff. So they have to take pictures of the coastline. And because Barbra Streisand's house was on the coast, her house just happened to be in one of the photos. But of course, this is all for research and government research of coastlines and all that kind of stuff. So nobody even cared whose house that was because everyone's looking at the coastline and analysing it and measuring it. But then Barbara decided that she didn't want her house to be featured. So then opened up a court case or something ridiculous against the Geographic Society who were doing these pictures. So, yeah, now everybody knew that was her house. And she was trying to avoid people finding out where her house was. But now it was national news that she's now suing a geographical company for the pictures that they took of the coastline because it included her house by accident. And now everybody knows that's her house. So it had the exact opposite effect that she wanted. So yeah, that's the Streisand effect. If you don't know what that is, and it's something that I only found out about recently in the last few years when I was looking at, I can't remember what the video was, but it must have been to do with Barbra Streisand, and yeah, just a really funny case or entertaining case in that it just had the totally opposite effect. Nobody would have seen those pictures. Or even, how many people are going into the Geographic Society looking for pictures of the coastline and you're looking at, but whose house is that in the background? It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, yeah, so we'll see what happens with the dispute. But if it's rejected, it might turn into that trying to kind of do it a little bit later on so I don't notice it. I have noticed it, I'll dispute it, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But certainly it is interesting. But anyway... right, we will keep jumping into that super chat window, and Angela's donated $20 as well, so thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, having been exposed to all genres of music, which style of music do you prefer to listen to? That is if you have time. And what is the difference between palm muting and ghost notes? Sound wise, are they the same? So thank you for that. Right, so first of all, my preferred genre is hard rock, and you could probably, that's just what I'm into. That's the, sound that I gravitated towards when I was playing the guitar, learning to play the guitar. So, yeah, kind of melodic hard rock is what I'll listen to. Generally, if I have any time to listen to any music, it'll always be kind of, actually, it'll be a mix of lots of different things, but Mr. melodic hard rock, and I think probably without doubt the thing that I listen to most is the Rocky IV soundtrack, because I'm still doing my exercise and trying to get back to exercising with my arm, and doing it with very light weights at the moment, but I'm doing that every 3 or 4 days. So it means that every 3 or 4 days I'm listening to the Rocky IV soundtrack. That's just what I have in the background when I exercise. So yeah, that's the thing that I listen to most. So anyway. All right, palm muting is when you rest your palm on the strings between the bridge where the string connects and goes into the bridge. If you put your hand there, that's called palm muting, and it means it stops the strings from vibrating, but you can still hear the note. So if you're, and that's a guitar technique, so that's not a ghost note. Like a ghost note is a note that doesn't really exist, but the sound of it happening is there. So imagine that you've palm muted a note so that you can not really hear it at all, but it's part of the run that you're playing, or pick a particular groove that you might have in a riff where you might have an upstroke or a downstroke that isn't really a note, but it sounds like it's kind of part of the riff, but you can't really make out what the note is. It's a ghost note, which means it's kind of there, but you can't hear it. If you imagine, it's a ghost note because it's kind of there, but you can't see it. So, yeah, and it's just really an expression kind of thing and a groove kind of thing. So, yeah, it's not a technique in of itself. It's a particular sound to a riff or something that might be played. So, anyway, right. Karen's donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. And I'll just quickly. Somebody said, "What happened to your arm?" So, long story short, in 2021, I was playing golf, and I didn't realise it at the time, but I was damaging ligaments and tendons in my arm. And then I was going and working out afterwards, doing chin-ups and, pull-ups and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes even having like 5 or 10 kilos on a belt around my waist and still doing kind of chin-ups like this. And all that time that I was working out, it's probably about a month that I was doing that. I was damaging tendons and ligaments, and I thought, oh, it's just muscular ache, but it wasn't. So yeah, I'm still recovering from that. So it's been 4 years now that I've been recovering from that, and it's taking a very long time. But I am at the point now of at least being able to work out and using light weights. So yeah, and I've had a scan and everything, which was a couple of years ago. And yeah, they just said that it is going to heal, but it's just going to take a very long time. I've just got to keep on gradually exercising and doing the rehabilitation with it. But anyway, right, let me skip that advert. And Karen's donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, "Greetings from beautiful California, Phil. The hearing test was fascinating. Any follow-up analysis planned?" So thank you for that. Not really. The only follow-up was in the last live stream where I explained about people saying, "Oh, this isn't a fair test because my laptop speakers cut out at 8,000 hertz." But they don't realise that it's their ears that are cutting out. It's not the speakers that they're using. And even on phones, like if you watch that video, even just on a phone, like a speaker on, it doesn't matter, Android or Apple phone, whatever you use, you will still hear, or I can't speak for above 14,000 hertz because my ears don't pick that up. But I can, at least on my phone, I can hear it to exactly the same frequency, and then it cuts out. So yeah, that the only follow-up that I had last time was just letting people know that, if your speakers and your phone are cutting out at 8,000 hertz, it's not the technology, it's your ears that can't hear it. But people might not even be aware that this happens. They don't realise that this happens. So they assume that if something suddenly goes silent, that, oh, there's something wrong with the device. But the sound is actually still happening. It's just the ears that aren't working. So, or at least they're working, but not at that frequency. So Karen donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, "Random questions. Phil, have you ever had a broken bone? And have you ever had any surgery?" No, I've never, touch wood, I always kind of reach back and touch a guitar, the fretboard. So we say touch wood here. I know other people say knock on wood kind of thing. Different expressions for different places. But no, I've never broken a bone, hence the touch wood. But I don't know, I have had injuries, but I've just been, I think probably lucky to not break anything. Like going over my ankle, quite badly, but it's just like a severe sprain and I didn't break my ankle or anything like that. I'd say mostly I've had kind of muscle tears and muscle strains, but that's all from when I was playing football and, sprinting and I think generally the kind of injuries that players get when they run fast. Fast players always have a tendency to maybe tweak a hamstring or something. But I think in my case, it was more my quad that I had a problem with just a couple of times. But yeah, I haven't had any any severe injuries, and surgery. I haven't had any surgery either. Fingers crossed, touch wood, so far. But thank you for that. And Karen's donated $5 and says, Phil, I believe you've pioneered music authentication. I'm sorry about the copyright claim. I have faith that perseverance will prevail. Cheers, Karen. Thank you for that. And I think, hopefully on the channel, that Ella Scott is actually a good example of it. That I've been asked to look at something, I've looked at it, and I've, looked into the details of the charity that doesn't exist, so there are no details. The fact that there's no registered trademark for Ella Scott, so that's illegal as well. And the fact that nothing's disclosed as AI on the streaming services, all that kind of stuff. Because the website's now been changed, that's something that we've directly affected. That wouldn't have changed unless I did the video and let everybody know what was going on. So I think video by video, we're getting there slowly, but it can only be a good thing that, people that were setting up something that isn't entirely true and pushing a fake organization to donate to, it can only be good that is seen for what it is, to the point where they've now realized, oh, there's a little bit too much attention on us. Let's try and remove the illegal stuff that we're doing so we're not investigated by, not just me, but, actual authorities and the government and all that kind of stuff, to see where those donations actually were going. Because, then they'll be found to be a scam and it'll all be out in the open. But yeah, the other thing now, because I'm constantly planning videos for the future, constantly getting requests. We've got, I think, a couple of videos coming up that are, I'd say quite big. This one certainly that I can't believe it's happening, given the history that I've had with previous videos that I've done on the subject. So yeah, there's going to be another one in the future that's absolutely unbelievable, but we will get there. Anyway, yeah. Right, now we are at 346 likes so far. So if you could hit that thumbs up, that'd be very much appreciated, because we are aiming for 415 likes tonight, and we are at 347, which means we're looking for 68. That might be wrong, but that's what I'm going for. 68. So 50, 65. Yeah. Oh, I think that was right. So now it's 67, I think. So, right. I think I know that. Somebody's just said. Melody Rock says Troll Corner ? I don't know whether I have anything for Troll Corner. I might have, but I think I already mentioned it about. So I've already kind of done a Troll Corner and the thing is, this was from ages ago. So, this is the thing that I was just talking about. So, let me see if I can see this. Here we go. Yeah, this is why I remembered it, because this is from a few days ago. That somebody commented on the Ella Scott video saying, I don't have a problem with somebody creating a virtual artist through AI, although they should be honest about it. But claiming to donate money to a charity that doesn't exist is clearly fraud. It's actually illegal. And then somebody commented under that and said, you're right. But on the website, it was clearly written that it was just a merch store for shirts and caps, and she called it donation. So now this person is looking at the website after I've made my video that they've now changed, because they knew what they were doing was illegal. So that's the direct impact of what I'm doing. But the problem is people like this, and this was days after the video, and I'm trying to think, how many days was it? This would have been, I lose track of the days. Was it on Sunday that I released that video? And we're now on Tuesday. So they're watching it maybe yesterday, and they don't realise, and it's great actually, I didn't know that it happened that quickly, that the effect of the video that I've made has had an instant effect. So that they've changed the thing on the website pretty much immediately after my video. But then, of course, people like this watch my video. But then again, on the video, I'm clearly showing the website. And if you just pause it and read what I'm reading, you can see that it was claimed as a registered charity, and more importantly, I clicked on the button which then took you through to another page, and it said the Ella Scott Foundation. I showed the charity page that now doesn't exist. So again, yeah, I mean, that was it. So we didn't have Mr. Troll up on screen, but we could get him there. So there he is. So yeah, that was the troll corner that didn't happen for tonight. If I remember anything before the end of the live stream, then maybe I'll mention it. But we'll get rid of him because that's the only thing I can remember at the moment. But as I always say in lots of my videos, it's really important to listen to what I'm saying in each video and to just watch it and listen carefully. Because, yeah, most of the problems people have is because they're not listening to what I'm saying. And there's nothing I can do about that. If I present the information, which is totally objective, and people aren't listening to what I'm saying and they come up with their own theory, then, yeah, the theory that isn't based on what I've actually said, then there's nothing that I can do about that, unfortunately. So, anyway. Right. Now, let's have a look at the cover vote for tonight. You Know My Name has 61% of the vote. So, we might be jumping into that soon. If we do make it to the Phil Jam for tonight, it is 5 minutes and 12 seconds. So it is, yeah, not a very long. I mean, it's going to be long enough for the Phil Jam, but sometimes they're 8 or 9 minutes. So it's not going to be too long for tonight. Now it's almost 5 to midnight. So we might jump into the cover video for tonight. It looks like You Know My Name has run away with it in the poll with 62% of the vote. And I'll wait for that to be confirmed. It is 62%. You Know My Name. So, yeah, we will jump into this. And this is a collaboration cover I did many years ago now with Kent Johnson. And he's playing violin on this. And yeah, we got together and did our own version of the James Bond soundtrack classic, Casino Royale, and of course the legend that is and was Chris Cornell. And just, I always say that it's my favourite Bond theme, and I don't think I'll ever change from that just because Chris's voice is so unique. But anyway, let's Mokestra says, is something strange going on with your subscriber count? Not that I know of. I'm going to have a look. Now, this is something I've mentioned before. The people, I don't know why, but they go on different websites that are supposed to tell you stats about different channels. The only problem is that those stats and the websites are entirely ridiculously randomly wrong. So, yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with the subscriber count. It all seems fine on, YouTube Studio. So I'd say that, yeah, if you're looking to get the subscriber count accurately, then go to YouTube. Don't do it through, and that goes for all of the, analysis things on different pages and all that kind of stuff. Look at it on YouTube, because, yeah, it will give you ridiculous figures about, I can't remember what it was, but on Google, it's, I think, the highest valuation I've had is something like 13 million, my net worth. And then another one was like 3 million. And I think, well, that would be pretty good. And as I always say, if Google want to pay me that they think that I'm worth, then I'm more than happy to accept that. But yeah, that is wildly inaccurate. So, so this is what you get not only on Google, but with the YouTube analytics sites that you have, where, yeah, the numbers, I can't remember what it was, but I think one of them said estimated ad revenue is like between $3,000 and $500,000. It was such a ridiculous, because it doesn't know. It's just giving you a random figure from nowhere, and that's what can happen with the subscriber count as well. Because they're, somebody said, "Oh, you've just lost 800 subscribers. What's happening?" It's like, well, no, they're not YouTube. They're guesstimating on everything, and of course they can use YouTube to see how many subscribers there are, roughly, but it's going to have so much of a random figure there. So yeah, nothing going on my side of things for the subscriber count. Anyway, let's get into this cover video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you after. Rock!
If you take a life, do you know what you give? Odds are you won't like what it is. When the storm arrives, would you be seen with me by the merciless eyes of deceit? I've seen angels fall from blinding heights, but you yourself are nothing so divine. Just next in line, arm yourself because no one else here will save you. The odds will betray you, and I will replace you. You can't deny the prize, it may never fulfill you. It longs to kill you. Are you willing to die? The coldest blood runs through my veins. You know my name. If you come inside, things will not be the same. When you return to the night, if you think you've won, you never saw me change the game that we have been playing. I've seen this diamond cut through heart of man. Then you yourself, but if you must pretend, you may meet your end. Harm yourself because no one else here will save you. The odds will betray you, and I will replace you. Can't deny the prize, it may never fulfill you. And it longs to kill you. Are you willing to die? The coldest blood runs through my veins. You know my name. 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 You know my name.
And there we have it. That's myself and Ken Johnson having our go collectively at You Know My Name, and I hope you guys enjoyed that one. As always, thank you guys for requesting that over on Patreon. And for Unwanted Stranger is what we started with for tonight's live stream. Now, there has been a donation over on PayPal as well. And let me just click on that and see what's going on. It's Carmen who has donated £14.97. So thank you for that. And that is a straight up donation. Now, something that I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but for the TV thing that I did last Thursday, They sent through an email, and this email was, I think, the day before. And with TV, because I hadn't done any filming on TV before, or been interviewed on TV or anything like that, they said in this email, dress code. Make sure that you're not wearing anything black, anything white, or anything red. So I thought, hang on, that's my whole wardrobe. Because watching that last video, it made me think that, oh yeah, that's the smart shirts that I've got are black and white. One of them's black with kind of white fancy designs on it, and the other one's white with black designs on it. So I thought, well, that means that I'm going to have to wear something, but I don't have anything. And they say anything grey is fine. So yeah, I just had to wear a grey t-shirt, the Gondor one that you'll see in many videos. So yeah, unfortunately, I thought, well, if I'm going to be on TV, I should look a little bit smart, maybe. But destiny decided that nothing that I've got that is smart would have suited or would have been allowed. So yeah, I think it's probably in the long run better for me to look how I look during my channel, because I guess that's why they've asked me to go there to talk about things, because of what I do on my channel. So yeah, the look's going to be entirely consistent. And the other thing was, on the day that I got the train into London, and the directions that I'd then be given, it's all very fancy because they, I should have maybe mentioned this all in the last live stream, but it's all very fancy because they have a car waiting for you at Paddington Station. But the only problem was that the directions that I was given to meet on Bishop's Bridge at Paddington Station, or outside Paddington Station, those were incorrect. So I was walking for maybe 5 or 10 minutes to the bridge in question, and of course it's just a bridge, so there's nowhere to pick up anybody. So I asked somebody and said, yeah, what's all this about? And they said, oh, yeah, no, that's not here, or there's no place that does pick up here. So I then called the number of the guy, the kind of chauffeur person, and he then said, oh no, what you need to do is follow the directions from Paddington for the taxis, the taxi bay, and I'll be there. So I thought, well, why not put that in the email? And it wasn't the driver's fault, it's just something that I got through from actually the TV company. So yeah, I thought, why not just say, at Paddington, follow the signs for taxis? Because if it said that, that's really easy. But giving you some convoluted directions to make it to the pickup point, and then it not being there. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because it wasn't a cold day. It was actually quite warm. So it means that I'm doing a 5 or 10 minute power walk to get to this bridge to make sure that I get picked up on time, so that I'm not late for the interview time. And then I realise, oh, I've got to do that 5 or 10 minute power walk back to where I was, and then do another 5 or 10 minute power walk to now where the taxis actually are. So anyway, long story short, it meant that, yeah, I was quite warm at that time, tried to cool down for the interview, but yeah, because I couldn't see myself, I got no idea what my hair was going to look like. So yeah, we're bringing you back to hair at the end of the day, because I was conscious of how big my hair gets when I'm warm, or when I have been getting a little bit hot and flustered, especially, you know, if you're exercising or power walking. So yeah, it'll be interesting just to see what goes on. But anyway, yeah, at least you know that I'll be wearing a grey t-shirt. So there you go. That's what it'll be on TV. And yeah, I don't think I was sweating too much. Hopefully I've got away with it. But it's always the way that when you're about to go on TV, then it's almost like having to walk a marathon before you get there, just to find where you need to be. So anyway, as you guys know, I'll let you know as and when I get any information on when it'll be on TV. And I'll probably put it on Instagram and maybe here on YouTube. I don't know what I'll do with it, but I'll kind of put it where people can access it. And I don't know whether people will be able to watch it in different countries, but people in the UK certainly will be able to watch it. So anyway, right, we are looking for 9 more people to hit the thumbs up. So if you could hit the thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. And Angela said, I thought you drove to the station, Phil. I did drive to the station. So what I did is I drove to the station and then I get on a train and then go to the other station on the train. So yeah, that's how that worked. Right. Now, Sue has donated $9.99, so thank you for that, Sue. And the message is Spike, Spike, Spike. So yeah, that's entirely relevant. Now 5 more people that we're looking for. So yeah, if you could hit that thumbs up, that would be great. Now, just to mention, the reason that I got a train into London is because the last time I went to London, I drove, and I was in the car for 2 hours and 20 minutes just getting there. So it must have been 3.5 hours in the car, which was an absolute nightmare. And that's actually when I was meeting with Jeff Scott Soto, and he had a table. Should I say we had a table, but we had a table at thank goodness it's Friday, or TGI Fridays. I don't know what the G stands for. It could be, I'm going to say goodness, but anyway, TGI Fridays, and I don't know if it's even referred to in the long term that I just gave, but yeah, he had a table there, and of course he booked it for a particular time, and then I said, oh yeah, well, I'm still about an hour away, even though I know that I've got to, I'm traveling the shortest distance ever in the world. And if I shout out of my window, you'll probably be able to hear me, but I'm still an hour away for my car to make it that tiny distance. So yeah, after all of that, I thought, right, I'm not doing this again, because just sitting in traffic is annoying, especially when you're hungry and you know that there's a TGI Fridays on the cards. So yeah, I then decided to train it. And yeah, it's so much easier on the train. But of course, the whole taxi thing did throw a bit of a spanner in the works. But yeah, a lot easier. So anyway, Songs of Life said you needed to have a Wings of Pegasus CD to listen to, laugh out loud. Yeah, I didn't have that in the car. Unfortunately, I don't listen to my own music, but I do have music on my phone that I listen to. But I think because I was just making sure that, because there were roadworks, there were like 3 different sets of roadworks. It means that I'm having to now rely on the sat-nav to actually get there in the first place, going through lots of different diversions and all this stuff. So yeah, if I have any music on, unfortunately I'd get distracted by the music, whereas I needed to concentrate. So it looks like we are in store for another Phil Jam, number 270, because we've hit that likes goal. So thank you guys, hit the thumbs up, and if you're watching this in the future on catch up, then you can still hit the thumbs up. Really does help the live stream to get out there and for the channel to grow on the whole. Now what do? I need a guitar. It's going to be I think the Strat's just the default guitar for these things now, because it's always plugged in. Okay, that's on, but I don't think it would have come across because I didn't have the mic turned on. And what are we doing? Zooming out. That's what we're doing. Where's the red dude? There he is. And let's go down to here.
Graham, we understand your context.
Advert. Right, let me mute that. AI advert. Now this is another thing. Let me skip this. They've now got AI that does all of your replies for you. I don't use AI for any of that stuff, but you're then writing emails and doing this and doing that. The problem is that when if you're receiving an email from somebody and it sounds really professional and all of this kind of stuff, but then you meet them in real life and then they're not the same kind of person that you've been talking to, what happens then? You'll think, well, hang on, who have I been talking to? And they might say, oh, I use AI for all of my emails, so you've been talking to nobody. But I'm the person that pressed yes to AI. So you think, well, no, I'm talking to the person that I thought I was meeting, or at least I assumed I was going to be talking to that person. So yeah, you could have somebody that, might not have all of the skills that they are claiming in an AI email, and then they turn up and then you realise that that's what's happened. But anyway, let's jump into this. This is heavy metal backing track in E minor from Dopes Tracks, and that's Dopes with a Z or a Z if you're in the USA. Dopez. And I'm going to unmute this. Let me know if you can hear this. The levels have been really weird with my guitar over the last few jams. Okay, right, I can hear it. Turn up guitar. have it. That was heavy metal backing track in E minor on a Strat. So there you go. That was from Dope's Tracks, Dopez, and then Tracks with an S and not with a Z. So yeah, there we have it. Thank you, Joe, for sending that my way. And I don't know whether that would have been the straw that broke the camel's back on the gem, because I can't remember whether I changed the strings on the gem, but I don't think I did, so that there might have been some bends there that it might have given up on. But anyway, there we have it. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up and ensuring that we busted out the guitar. And yeah, had a jam for tonight, which is always interesting. This one was kind of more in my wheelhouse, but yeah. And yeah, I'll turn off the microphone. Now this is the thing, that when I turn on the mic for the amplifier, of course we've now got two mics that are live. You've got this mic and you've got that mic back there. So you might hear an echo because you're hearing two mics. It's picking up my voice twice. So yeah, that's what happens. And then when I turn it off, then it should go back to normal, because we're now only hearing it through one mic. So just for future reference, if after the fill jam you hear an echo, that's why. It's just the other mic that is on. So anyway, yeah, that is it for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that one. Live streaming on Saturday night, as always. So if you could join me then as well, that would be very much appreciated, because we'll be going for another likes goal and attempting to have another fill jam. So all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!